one more ask before the episode gets started. There's around 60% of people who regularly watch and listen into all these streams and podcasts and things we do. We don't ask anything from you guys. All we want is just to hit the subscribe button, maybe the like button as well, or if you're on Spotify, just there's a little follow button there that you can take 2 seconds to press. It helps us out massively. Allows us just to get bigger and better guests on, so you guys get a better listening experience. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And if anyone wants to tap into some of the other research we do across Blocmates.com, that's also readily available for everyone, and also the newsletter subscription is below. Again, all for free. Don't want anything from you. Just a way for us to kind of build off the back of what we're trying to do here. So thanks a lot, and subscribe button's below if you're looking for it.
We are back. It's been a mad few weeks.
Everyone recovered?
Yeah, I've been sound, me. I've been all right. I was all right. Like, even over the weekend, I was all right. So it was weird. I thought I'd be absolutely done for, but I slept okay, even on a blow bed.
I was going to say, didn't you get back and you were pushed to the couch because your missus's parents are obviously out to sleep on an airbed?
Yeah, it was all right, to be fair. I slept like a baby on Sunday, so it was one of them. I thought I was going to be knackered. Me and him slept on the plane, and it was, tried to, but it was just one of them where you're just all over the place. I think I was slavering on myself at one point.
And Emirates decided that they wanted to serve lamb satay as the in-flight meal, so I was starving for about 20 hours, which is great.
Try to kill all.
And they didn't give a shit, so you're getting a strongly worded letter. Yeah, to be fair, I actually don't even think my body adjusted to Singapore time, so I'm absolutely fine again. I was there for that short period of time. I'm still on UK time.
Completely pissed for it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a very healthy week all in, wasn't it?
Yeah. Singapore's a bit fucking boring though, isn't it? Well, we'll actually get into this. Let's do the prices and we'll get into Singapore.
Yeah, because we do want to do right. So basically, basic premise of this one is we'll cover the prices and flows, and then we'll get into everything token 2049. So I will start with that then. So we have Bitcoin over 26,850, it's up 0.4%. ETH is at 1,638, up 0.2%, and the total market cap is up slightly again at 1.11 trillion. Binance inflows over the past week, down 119 mil on the daily, down 201 mil on the weekly, and down 964 mil on the monthly. So yeah. Now for the good stuff. Token 2049. So obviously we weren't on last week because we flew out and then back again. So we thought we would use this episode as just a bit of a pointer really to talk about what we thought about the event, what we got out of it, the goods, the bads, and any insight that you guys that weren't there might want to hear. Can't promise how valuable it'll be, but we will give it a go either way. So yeah, who wants to start? What if we kind of approached it from an overall opinion point of view? What do we think? Mike, do you want to go first?
Well, I guess, yeah. Well, just from a personal opinion, like for us, it was the first time we got together, wasn't it? In terms of it in real life, now I'll use that term in jest because we know we're going to get onto that anyway. No, it was the first time we got together, so for us as like a team, and that I thought it was well worth it in terms of that whole experience, getting to know each other a bit more in terms of on a personal level. Because with that helpful leather with Blockmates all the time, and we don't always have time to do them things. So I think the value in terms of off-sites and stuff like that, I can completely see it. In terms of the event, I thought it was great to see that it was sold out and there's so many people that are interested in the space, and there's a hell of a lot going on. How much value under the hood of, I guess, in terms of the stalls and that we saw there, I think that can be probably debated in terms of what point of view you see and where you sit in terms of the space. But again, I think with these conferences, you still need them, don't you? Otherwise, it doesn't give people a chance to debate on this level or debate on any level the current status of the industry and where it's going to be heading in future. I guess from the keynote speakers and keynote talks, there was a lot more value there, I think, in terms of who was speaking, some more charismatic than others. But overall, it was a good week.
I concur. Grant?
Yeah, the conference is always good, like the past couple of times I've been, but Singapore is just a bit flat for me personally. I'd like a bit less rules in my conference, I think. I never, like, we were saying for the week that we were there, we never knew if we were breaking a law or we were about to go to prison because we
Crossing the road.
Yeah, like done something wrong that we didn't know about. But no, in general, it was. I think the caliber of speakers was good. The topics and talks were pretty good. Overall conference layout, I think it's hard to beat, to be honest. Is that the organization quality on Token 24/9 is absolutely incredible. But I suppose from some of the booths, it's quite interesting to see like the likes of Neo and shit, like still like with a booth there. Obviously, they raised like $4 billion or some shit back in the ICO boom, so you can kind of see why they've still got some money to kind of throw around. And I suppose for Token 24/9, they don't give a shit who's paying it to pay to play, isn't it? So, but yeah, it was good week. I'd like to see what they're going to do at the Dubai one. I'm pretty sure Mike will be flying out for that because he absolutely loves going to Dubai.
I don't think we can stop him.
I'm trying to wing it.
He goes to Dubai and SeaWorld. They're the only two destinations he ever goes to. But yeah, all in all, good week. Many a beer had, many an expensive beer had, but yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, yeah, it was a good week. It was a little bit of a daze, but I'm like you, Grant. I would like to say a little less Big Brother, a little more Fear and Loathing. You know what I mean? That's what I would like to see. But valuable. I've never seen a man cop as much free merch as Dan. Literally unloaded a Santa sack of free merch from every stall that he could possibly get.
He didn't care what it was either, did he?
No, I didn't care what it was. Yeah.
They got the Cardano stand getting the hoodies and shit.
Yeah. Cardano cock rings and stuff like that. Just like sweeping it off. But as far as like actual insights and stuff, which I'm sure you want to hear about, the common theme throughout, which you may have seen the tweet by Grant on the main account, was real world assets or RWAs or whatever. And before we get into this, because it was talked about a lot, just wanted to be clear that it is very much the term real world assets that we are kind of ardently against, which we will explain why. But that did keep cropping up, didn't it? So do we want to kind of dig into that?
Yeah, first of all, RWA's abbreviation of real world assets has more syllables and is harder to say. Like that is like
when I said that to you, it was like a light bulb moment, wasn't it? We were walking and I went, it literally has more syllables. Why would you shorten something that's then harder to say?
It's like when when like pretty sure it was like Danny Sturridge was on like Match of the Day and he was like, yeah, we got the W. It's like, just say win. It's a lot easier to just say win.
Yeah. Or the dub.
And yeah, but it kind of got taken, that tweet kind of got taken the wrong way. But by quite a few people, should I say. But no, I think there's a big push for that, for the whole industry to start bringing, and you can obviously see why it is, right? Because like anyone who's been tapping into T-bills or treasuries or anything of that ilk has done it extremely well. Like Maker have done really, really well. Circle and Tether I think Tether's one of the largest treasury bill holders on the planet at the moment. And they're absolutely print and hand over fist. So you can see why there's a demand for that to like come on chain. But I think that flips as soon as like liquidity and volume comes back to the markets and yields in DeFi are more favorable than what you can get in the real world. So it feels like everyone's like clamoring for like an opportunity and they can see it off chain. So they're trying to bring it on chain, but that shit doesn't last forever. I'm not a huge proponent of it. I think there's a lot of drawbacks that could be hard. Like if you're dealing with kind of who's underwriting the risk of the shit that you're buying into, whether that be insurance, housing, fucking local businesses, like someone's got to underwrite that risk just the same as they will in the real world, you know. But it just, I don't know, it just feels like we're clamoring for some yield that isn't here because volumes and liquidity is dried up. So could be bullish. I don't know.
Look, yeah, it is strange, isn't it, in terms of real world assets? Again, what you were saying is it's just this marginalization as well, that we live in some sort of metaverse all the time and we're in the matrix and we can't actually spend our money because we have to convert it back to real world assets or whatever, in terms of like there's no crossover.
Stupid term, like real world assets. Like what is a non-real world asset? Like absolutely backwards.
It's like, by default, it marginalizes crypto. It's like, so is crypto not the real world then? Or like all of your assets on chain? And that's the point that I was.
Every single time. I have no idea who coined the term, but anyone getting their knickers in a twist about me saying shit like that, it's terminology that's wrong, not the actual idea of something. So,
Not the idea.
and any of you getting pissed off about someone talking about real world assets, you need to get a fucking life as well.
You need to get yourself a real world asset and enjoy
Yeah,
it.
get yourself a fucking real world wife, more like fucking hell. Absolute incel.
Dear me. Anything else on that before we move on?
No, move on.
No. Let's move on. What do we want to bring up next? What did we have on the notes? Consumer apps?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone, like if you're speaking to people, everyone's talking about friend tech, which is quite interesting. To see it kind of grab hold, I don't know how long and how much attention it gathers once like the airdrops actually happened, but it's nice to see a lot of people pushing towards kind of consumer facing apps. And even the interview we did with Luca, where their main objective is to have a consumer facing brand and abstract away the complexities of what's happening on the back end with the NFT. And I really do think that's the way to kind of go about it. Obviously, we can get all nerdy about the tech and stuff, but no one gives a shit. Like, literally, no one gives a shit.
Not as an end user, they don't. Why the fuck would you? Like, if you're a normal user, you don't care how your bank works, or you don't care how like any tech app works. You just want to know that the UX is like pretty easy to use, and you can go from point A to point B in the simplest way possible. You don't want something clunky, do you?
We don't sit in the pub and argue like, oh, this technology is better because it enables the Revolut cash tag. So when I request money from either of you, like who's even having that conversation? No one gives a shit.
No. What I liked about what Luca said, and that's Pudgy Penguins Luca, by the way, if anyone is listening and didn't know that, is it's sort of like brand first and then shoehorning blockchain in as an afterthought to that, which obviously isn't going to work in every corner of this space, but it was really interesting hearing like the way they've kind of approached the brand awareness and building everything on the back of that. And it's obviously not an afterthought, but yeah, it's cool.
Anything else?
Yeah. Arthur Hayes. An interesting talk.
Yeah, we all just walked in, didn't we, and seen the words Filecoin on the TVs, and he proceeded to just take the moment of like a 10-minute speech slot that he'd been given and been paid for to effectively come up with this crazy idea that the advancement of AI is going to need cloud computing, which isn't a ridiculous argument, but he was arguing that people are going to use Filecoin over AWS, and then he proceeded to say that Filecoin was going to pump because it's down 98%. But if you look, Filecoin only still has 20% tokens in circulation and still got like one of the largest FDVs in the full space. So fucking good luck with that one. And we pulled up TradingView when it was happening, and it had a little pump and then like completely retraced. So fuck knows, Alpha might be sat back there with 100x long open while he does his talk and then just closes it.
Probably paid for his party on the night.
Yeah, that got shut down. It got shut down by the police. It actually did. People were climbing over the walls to get in, and there was no
People
booze.
trying to break in, yeah. Funny ass.
It was entertaining, regardless. It was entertaining. So, what can we say? Which is why we went, because we knew it would be. To be fair, regardless of what came out of it. But yeah, so the other thing that we thought was obviously protocols that raised way back seem to still be okay, despite everything. Do you want to give a little bit more light on that, Grant?
Yeah, any of the 2017, 2018 stuff, they're sitting pretty. They're sat on like a treasure chest of ETH, which is obviously held up well and done well. So that's no bother to them. But it seems like the newer protocols that raised the past 12 to 18 months, or even towards the tail end of the last cycle, are quite a few of them struggling. I don't know if they're going to raise down rounds or what, but they're going to need additional funding or additional liquidity to come into the protocol. They're probably going to be closing shop, to be honest. So you want to check who's actually generating revenue and not relying on unlocks to kind of stay sustainable over the next 12 months or something. Personally, that's what I'd say.
Did you want to say something there, by the way, Mike? I feel like
you say, it was just booth-wise, it was just, I think it was interesting how in terms of, even though we operate in the forefront of DeFi, like I guess it wasn't really a lot of DeFi. Well, I would say there's a hell of a lot of centralized exchanges that I've never heard of. So it's funny to see what market share they have and what province they operate in things. Because for me, I was just sort of dumbfounded by some of these. I think there was like a Neon EVM, like the fastest EVM, and I've like, have you ever heard of it? I haven't.
I've heard of Neon. Neon's like they built. This is like outside I am. They built an EVM layer for portable code for Solana, but that's the only reason I know about it, and because I just did that report recently. So yeah, I'm one of those absolute gimps who needs to get a life.
One of the other points, which I think it was, I think Rune made this point in his kind of talk, and then probably followed up in the interview as he was talking about the bull market and how, despite people making money throughout, not a load of kind of sort of tangible.
Well, yeah, it was like value creation.
Yeah.
So he was just saying that there was not a lot of value creation out of the bull market. Like, you can still see the protocols that are strong and have value, which is mainly like a lot of the DeFi 1.0 products.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny. Like, I guess the transition to that and what we've seen in terms of Blockmates is, with a bear market, it's not as interesting as in everything go up, but there's a hell of a lot more people just building because that's what they need to do, and hopefully the value creation comes and is already there when the bull market comes back, if it comes back. But it just means there's a lot more interest in actual, I guess, credible protocols that are building now that we've seen and who we've worked with, really. I guess the only environment at the moment is, in terms of financially, it's a lot harder to be sustainable in this market and obviously raise and all the rest of it. So,
want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can do. Del Piero was.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. We'll end on that.
Yeah, we'll end on that.
Let's end on that one, because God knows that we love getting that stuff in. So yeah, Chili's were present, and they have recently launched one of the funniest activations. I call it funniest. No one gives a shit in this world if there's money being exchanged. But Serie A Italian football legend Del Piero, if you're not a football fan, is basically front-facing their marketing activity now, and which is just wild. My friend texted me and he was like,
"We had to take a double look, didn't we?"
I was like, what? Sorry, what? Del Piero, is he now skint? Did he not put his money in the right things after football? But yeah, basically now go on, Grant.
Bad, like, weird acid trip. Del Piero's now the ringleader of some NFT crypto project.
We were laughing about that last night, but that's a story for off stream. But yeah, basically they've rebranded. It looks good, to be fair, but as part of the activation, I believe, and you two correct me if I'm wrong, because you filled me in on this, when someone scores a goal in Serie A, the referee now has to run after the ball and put it in a Chili's bag and carry it back to the...
Yeah, it goes over the sideline and they have to put it in a sealed bag and then probably tokenize it or something. Like,
it's a fan from the whichever team from the fan token gets the ball. So that's the incentive there.
Do you know what will be really... and this is again shows why the wrong people are in the wrong roles when you get these industry crossovers. What will be hilarious to see is when someone's chasing a game 2-1 down or whatever, and they pull one back. And you know, when players like once they put the ball in the back, grab the ball. Like, is the referee going to rugby tackle him and say, "Get it in the Chili's bag"? 88th minute.
No fucking way. That's absolutely stupid.
Oh my God, you're trying to tell Lukaku, what about the Chili's bag?
Yeah, like trying to tell Gattuso on the sideline that the ball has to go into the fucking Socio's back. He'll fucking bite him.
I don't think it'll last long.
No, I don't either.
But I don't think it'll last long either. But yeah, okay. 20 minutes and out. That was that. Yeah, we've got loads of stuff to catch up on this week. As always, subscribe to the newsletter if you're not already. And yeah.
See you in a couple of
days. Be well.
Bye.